The iPhone 16 Pro Max isn't likely to arrive until fall 2024, which means we have a pretty lengthy wait before the new phone arrives. But that's not stopping rumors about what the next iPhone flagship might have to offer from bubbling to the surface many months in advance of the iPhone 16 Pro Max release. There's still a lot we don't know about the iPhone 16 Pro Max, if it's even called that. In fact, Apple could wind up calling this device the iPhone 16 Ultra, but we could see everything from an even bigger display and a new capture button to an even better main camera sensor. It's too early to say how much the iPhone 16 Pro Max might cost with any certainty, but considering the iPhone 15 Pro Max endured a $100 price hike, we're hoping that Apple leaves the price tag alone for at least another year. If that's the case, then we could see the iPhone 16 Pro Max price start at $1,199/$1,199 $2,199 for 256 gigabytes model. Apple typically announces new iPhones in early mid-September, and the only time that hasn't happened in the past several years was during the pandemic. In a lot of cases, the event is on the second or third week of the month, and often on a Tuesday. If Apple kept to a similar pattern, the Apple September event for 2024 could be September 10. iPhone 16 Pro Max pre-orders would start Friday, September 13, and the iPhone 16 Pro Max release date could be September 20. But this is just speculation. According to early rumors, the iPhone 16 Pro Max could get a size increase next year, growing from 6.7 inches to 6.9 inches. This would make the 16 Pro Max the biggest iPhone ever and slightly larger than the 6.8-inch Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. However, the size change may not be a given yet, or could be more subtle than expected. Early CAD renders list the new phone as 0.19 inches taller than the iPhone 15 Pro Max, but only 0.019 inches wider. This should mean that despite the size increase, the 16 Pro Max is still comfortable and familiar to use, though it isn't ideal for anyone that struggles with large phones. Side-by-side comparisons of iPhone 16 Pro Max and Galaxy S24 Ultra renders performed by Phone Arena suggest that Samsung's upcoming phone will be slightly wider than an iPhone 16 Pro Max with an expanded screen. Apple's flagship would be fractionally taller. The Galaxy S24 Ultra Max would outweigh the iPhone 16 Pro Max by 233 grams to 225 grams, respectively. iPhone displays typically are supplied by Samsung, and supply chain rumors suggest the version headed to the iPhone 16 Pro Max and other models will be more power efficient. That's because the OLED materials are expected to switch from blue fluorescent technology to blue phosphorescence technology. We've also heard some speculation that Apple could hide the remaining Face ID sensors under the display of the iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max. That would reduce the necessary cutout to a single circle for the selfie camera, rather than the pill-shaped cutout of the dynamic island. However, we may have to wait until 2025 and the launch of the iPhone 17 Pro to see this actually happen. An iPhone 16 Pro prototype shows what this design might look like, but even the tipster sharing the leaked image thinks it won't happen until the iPhone 17 at the earliest. Other analysts agree with this, claiming there are no big changes on the way for the iPhone 16 series design, but with one small exception. It's rumored that the iPhone 16 Pro and iPhone 16 Pro Max may get at least one capacitive button, in addition to the newly launched Action button. Allegedly called the Capture button, this would likely help you capture photos and videos quickly, with a focusing function in addition. Meanwhile, the Action button might find its way to the standard iPhone, with no design changes expected. We can see all these rumored chances reflected in these prototype-based renders from MacRumors. Things may change as Apple finalizes this design, but it's unlikely to differ too much from the model we actually get to buy. Seeing as how Apple has doubled down on giving the Pro iPhones a better chipset than Standard and Plus models, it's pretty likely Apple will do the same thing with the iPhone 16 series. That means we'll likely see an A18 chip on the iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max models, presumably an A18 Pro. Other iPhone 16 models may be in line for different A18 variants. The biggest question we have about the iPhone 16 Pro Max is whether there will even be a Pro Max iPhone in 2024, or if it will be replaced by the long-awaited iPhone Ultra. There were a lot of rumors claiming that an iPhone Ultra could launch alongside the iPhone 15. It was also suggested that the Ultra may not be the fifth iPhone, but rather a rebranded version of the Pro Max. And in fairness, iPhone 16 Ultra does roll off the tongue a little better than iPhone 15 Pro Max. According to Mark Gurman, who is a well-known source of Apple insider information, we could see an iPhone Ultra launch in 2024. It's unclear whether this will be a brand new kind of iPhone 16 or if Apple will finally ditch the Pro Max moniker. Given the sheer number of rumors claiming the latter ahead of the iPhone 15 launch, we'd expect it to be that. Maybe at even higher specs, iPhone's the wrong way to go. As phones editor John Velasco argues, Apple would be better off doing a foldable iPhone than an Ultra. We are still very early in the iPhone 16 Pro Max development cycle to know much about what to really expect. But the few rumors we've heard suggest the iPhone 16 Pro Max could be an absolute beast. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is tipped for a bigger display, an even more powerful camera system, a long-awaited RAM boost, and yet another dedicated button. Finally, what are your thoughts about it? Do let us know in the comment section. Hope you liked and subscribed to this channel. I will see you in next one.